Have you ever stored potatoes in the fridge? Never do it again. Some interesting research has been coming out that, in fact, it is a food that you should never refrigerate. Now, there are some fruits and vegetables that arguably shouldn't be refrigerated because it makes them less delicious. I think tomato is a good example of something that generally tastes better at room temperature than refrigerated. I don't know. Are you a refrigerator of tomatoes?
This is definitely in correlation to the way you were raised.
Oh,
My mother
really?
is a refrigerator queen. She refrigerates everything. I don't think
things that don't even need to be refrigerated.
Yeah. She definitely just assumes everything that's a fruit or vegetable that is not an apple or an orange or a banana needs to be refrigerated. And so everything just goes in the refrigerator, and now I'm finding out that I'm full of this chemical that happens when you refrigerate potatoes, because I know for a fact right now there are potatoes sitting in the fridge.
Silently killing you. So listen, Tamara, I think a good rule of thumb is when you go to the grocery store, if the produce is in the cold section, you should put it in the fridge, and if it's sitting out, then you're probably good to go.
That is a really good rule of thumb.
Yeah, I just came up with that off the top of my head.
My first thought was look it up on the internet, because that's usually what I do to solve any answer I have, or any problem.
They might tell you that
don't do that.
You shouldn't refrigerate potatoes. So here's the story. Never refrigerate potatoes. This is coming from the Food Standards Agency, which is very similar to the FDA in the United States. This is based out of Great Britain. Okay, so when potatoes are stored in the fridge, an interesting chemical reaction happens. The starch in the potato is converted to sugar. What happens, so this is in itself is not bad, right? Starch converting to sugar, not a particularly big deal. The big reaction happens when the potatoes are then baked or fried. These sugars combine with the amino acid asparagine and produce the chemical acrylamide. Now, acrylamide is what is harmful. This is a chemical that's used in industrial processes such as the production of paper, dyes, and plastics, and is also found in traces of consumer products and some foods. Now, what's really bad here is this chemical, which is created, so happens when you chill down your potato, the starch converts to the sugar, and then you cook it, the sugar undergoes a reaction, and you have acrylamide. Now, chemical, in some studies with rodent models, have found that exposure poses a risk of several types of cancer. So basically, according to cancer.gov, the World Health Organization and the Food Agriculture Organization of the UN states that levels of acrylamide in foods pose a major concern when it comes to cancer. So the chemical has been linked in cancer studies with rodents. Human studies are ongoing. So the advice here is if you have potatoes in your fridge, throw them away, never do it again. Never, ever.
Don't put the potatoes in the fridge.
I mean, this is an interesting one. I didn't know this.
It makes me think about, you can definitely buy frozen potatoes though, can't you?
Yeah, that's bad. Don't do that.
Yeah, so then they're setting you up for disaster?
I mean, we're probably all consuming it, because I think in a lot of fast food places, the potatoes are probably frozen at one point or another. Even, frozen food is it's pretty popular.
Yeah, because if you just think about frozen food, it sounds like a great idea. You're preserving it immediately. When you freeze something, it pretty much stays where it is and nothing really changes. But I guess
maybe freezing's not as bad as refrigerating. I don't know how fast the chemical process takes place, but I think a good rule of thumb is if you go to the store and buy a potato with the intent of consuming it, don't put it in the fridge.
This is a helpful hint of the day.
I mean, it'll
don't
save
do
your
that.
life. It'll save your life, friends. So let me know if you knew that in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, folks.